Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking something that is literally flipping the home design industry on its head. If you've ever built a house or done a remodel, you already know the drill, right? The agonizing wait, the endless guessing games, the inevitable arguments over like 50 slightly different shades of beige. It's exhausting. But what if, and stick with me here, what if we could take a process that usually drags on for months and compress it down into a single dynamic session? Well, that's exactly what we're looking at today. It's a revolutionary method called live design, and the source material we're analyzing is going to show us exactly how you can completely eliminate those wait times and finally get put right in the driver's seat.
So let's just jump right into this dark contrast here. Seriously, how much time do we waste just waiting? The usual way of designing a space means sending off an email, trying to perfectly describe the vibe you're going for, and then crickets. You wait, sometimes up to 3 whole weeks just to get a first round of mock-ups back. And if they aren't totally perfect, boom, you start the clock all over again. It's a massive momentum killer. But contrast that with a live session. We're talking one sitting, total instant gratification. This is the absolute core thesis of our explainer today, guys. We're talking about moving from a bloated multi-week cycle into one highly focused working session where the waiting literally just evaporates.
The source material really hits the nail on the head when it describes the shift as moving from a season of waiting to a single sitting. It points out all those classic pain points we all hate: the endless back and forth of emailed mock-ups, the logistical nightmare of scheduling a million meetings, and that underlying anxiety while your contractor is just breathing down your neck waiting for plans. It's the worst. But picture the alternative. In a live session, you get to watch every single change land the exact moment you ask for it. No more trying to imagine what a moved wall might look like while waiting 2 weeks for a new PDF. You see it happen instantly, and you leave that exact same sitting with a concrete plan in hand. The relief is honestly huge.
Okay, so how do they actually pull this off? The foundational concept here is brilliantly simple. We design your home while you watch. That's the core solution. We aren't talking about an architect retreating into a dark cave and emerging a month later with a design you might actually hate. No, this is an incredibly efficient, collaborative service where your space literally takes shape right in front of your eyes, in real time. The text from the source puts it perfectly. You hop on a call, the designer shares their screen, and your space takes shape. It's an incredibly active, engaging process. Because you're watching it happen live, it instantly aligns the designer's vision with exactly what's in your head. Now, what I really love about this is how beautifully accessible the technology is. You might be sitting there thinking, uh-oh, do I need to download some massive 3D rendering software? Do I need to learn CAD over the weekend? Absolutely not. The source says it best. Your screen, my studio. One live call. There is zero clunky software to learn, no giant files to download. You literally just join a standard video call and the designer shares their screen, which is hooked up to their professional studio setup, with dual monitors running all the heavy-duty architectural software. You just do the talking and they do the building. It completely bridges the gap between your raw ideas and professional execution. Let's break the actual mechanics down into 3 effortless steps, because honestly, I love how straightforward this is. Step 1, hop on a call. You literally just share a couple of photos and some rough dimensions beforehand, and boom, the session begins. Step 2, design it live. This is where the magic happens. You react, they build, walls move, finishes change, and the entire room comes together through a totally natural conversation. And finally, step 3, leave with plans. This is absolutely not just some casual brainstorming session. You walk away with actual 2D layouts, 3D views, and a finishes list. It's exactly that easy to start and finish the whole conceptual phase in one continuous flow. So let's visualize how this builds out, starting with the 2D layout. This right here is the visual proof. Imagine looking at a floor plan being drawn right in front of you. The source details exactly what this looks like in practice: moving the island, widening the hall, testing how the light falls. Picture yourself on a call saying, you know what, that kitchen island feels just a bit too cramped, and immediately watching the designer click and drag it back 2 feet. Or maybe you're wondering if a hallway is wide enough for a stroller. You literally watch the walls expand in real time until the footprint feels just right. You're solving spatial problems instantly, instead of waiting days for someone to draft a revision.
But listen, 2D is only half the story. The real kicker is what happens next. The designer basically flips a switch and you transition straight into stunning 3D. You get to literally walk your home before it exists. The source shows how this architectural wireframe just magically overlays into a beautifully rendered photorealistic space. It's the exact same layout you just finalized in 2D, but now you're in full 3D space. You can virtually stand in your new kitchen, look down that hallway you just widened, and get this, you can even check exactly how the morning light is going to stream through the windows. You get to actually feel the emotional impact of the space before a single hammer is ever lifted. Talk about de-risking a project.
And just to validate the sheer quality of what's being produced during these rapid-fire sessions, the source material gives us some gorgeous real-world examples. We're looking at kitchens, living rooms, primary baths, all reimagined live. And guys, these are not rough, blocky sketches. These are high-quality, professional 3D outputs. You can literally see the texture of the wood grain in the kitchen, the soft ambient lighting in the living room, the intricate tile work in the bathroom. It absolutely proves that working fast does not mean sacrificing visual fidelity. You are getting top-tier design visualization, all generated at the speed of a normal conversation. Okay, this might be my absolute favorite part because it really breaks down the psychology of why this works so well. You point, it changes. Think about that feedback loop the source describes. Client directs, designer executes, instant 3D render, confident decision. That loop is a total game changer. Instead of agonizing over tiny samples at a hardware store, you just say the word, like, try moving the wall back 2 feet. Done. Try swapping the counters to warm oak. Done. What if we did the sofa in a deep green? Instantly, it's green. Let's try opening the kitchen to the dining room. Boom, the wall is gone. You get to explore literally every single what-if scenario in seconds, which naturally leads to incredibly confident decisions.
And the result of that rapid-fire feedback loop is captured perfectly right here. Decisions in minutes, not weeks. Just look at that dramatic, sweeping upward curve representing the live session, compared to the really slow, staggered steps of the usual way. This highlights a fundamental truth about human decision-making. When you can see the results of your choices instantly, all of that exhausting guesswork just completely disappears. You don't have to wonder if a warm oak counter and a deep green sofa are going to clash. You literally just look at the screen and see it for yourself. That upward curve, that represents your momentum, your absolute confidence, and your project moving forward at lightning speed.
So, when the call finally ends, what do you actually walk away with? Because it's definitely not just a nice memory of a fun chat. The source is crystal clear on the 4 tangible deliverables you get to keep. Number 1, clean, dimensioned 2D floor plans that are 100% ready to hand over to a contractor. Number 2, rendered 3D walkthrough views from multiple angles, so you know exactly how the room will feel. Number 3, a highly detailed finishes and materials list covering every surface, color, and fixture you picked out together. And number 4, which I honestly think is pure genius, you get the actual session recording. You can go back and rewatch exactly how and why every single design decision was made, whenever you want. That is a massively comprehensive package from just one sitting.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. Why on earth are you still waiting? We've seen exactly how this process takes a whole season of waiting and flips it into a single, highly productive, and honestly, really fun sitting. You get to see your space exactly how it could be, and you leave with the actual plans to go build it. If you've got a project in mind, you need to stop guessing and start seeing. You can reach out directly right now. Shoot them an email at rmsdesigngroup@gmail.com, or just pick up the phone and call them straight away at 973-897-5013. The old traditional waiting game is officially obsolete. So as we wrap up today's explainer, I'm going to leave you with this one thought. If you could watch your absolute dream home come to life perfectly over the next few hours, what room would you start with first? Keep learning, keep building, and we'll see you on the next explainer.